Good evening, everyone. Welcome you all for this today's session. So today we are going to learn one important topic. It's related to writing research article. So before going to this today's part, why you need to write research article? Why? Why you need to write? For only for your completion of PhD or some institute for master's research article is mandatory to get the degree for that, or what purpose you need to write research article? So, so your thoughts you can share in the chat. Why you need to write research article? To share knowledge, good. Others? To solve things, existing work, possible solutions, you new insights. Great. Others? Re-evaluation. Okay. Why you need to write? To share what we are going to do or what you have done. After completing, you are going to write self growth. Good. Helping the society. Okay, good insights from like participants from different perspective. Yes, PhD requirements, sharing new ideas. Yes, okay, great. How many of you know, like currently, what research work I am doing in my lab? Anybody knows? Anybody here knows? Or other than your institute, some professors or your collaborator, think some foreign professor who is an expert related to your research work. Anybody knows that what is the current research work, maybe he or she or his lab mates are doing the research study. Anybody knows? Okay. Most of the time, the research article getting published, the work is done 6 months to nearly 2 years before. Even some articles, the work will be done 3 years before also. 3 years before also, but quite late only it gets published in some journals. There are some authors, they develop a good designs, good they have a good ideas, good product. So first they try to file a patent. After the patent is getting granted, then based on the results and other study, they used to write an article and they used to publish. In that case, the the research work getting published will take more time, more than 4 years or 5 years, right? The purpose of writing research article, overall, the concluding one, it's the communication of research happens only through publications. The publication happens through writing research or review article or through any other short letters, short communications, different forms of, if you go through any journals while you are submitting, you will have 6, 7 options, right? Uh, through all these options are mostly to communicate your research work. Communicate your research work. This communication of research work, for some, it's like gaining knowledge. For some, like a literature. For some, uh, it's a kind of extended work, or that content can helpful for their research work directly, or that makes some authors to think in a different perspective. Sometimes that work helps to the, for example, Currently in Chennai and certain cities in Tamil Nadu, we are not supposed to use the river sand. 10-15 years before, researchers from IIT Madras, they've done a research on the M sand, which is manufactured sand, and they have published research articles. But when there is a ban in the river sand, as natural resources are getting into a lot of problems, there is a ban in the river sand. Then what is an alternative? Then people prefer this M sand, and that is currently used widely. Sometimes your research that day, that year, that month may not be helpful to various researchers as you expect, but it will be helpful to some, like to the society in future, that may take little bit longer days, right? So for writing research article is very simple. That you should keep in your mind first. Okay. There is a professor he published nearly 552 articles in a year. Viraj Vivanikit from Taiwan. 552 articles. As for my knowledge, he is the maximum. Maybe there may be other professors more than that. Through collaboration or somehow he is having that much number of articles. But I've seen some research students doing research for 6 years, 7 years, not even publishing one research article. That article also, at the 6th year, the research scholar will talk to multiple academic research consultants, and they pay 80,000, 1 lakh, several amount, and he take again 1.5 years. Then again extensions, lot of issues. I have seen many researchers are facing multiple issues related to this. Okay. The most important thing is when you know to write a research article, hardly 15 to 20, 25 pages, it will be very easy for the researchers. First article will take little bit of time, that's all. Next article will not take much time. You can complete your task as fast as fast. Okay. So while you're writing your research article, there are some instructions for the authors that will help, because one thing I like to share here is when you submit your research article, you should not give a clue to the reviewer that you are submitting your research article for the first time in this journal, or this is your first publications. For first article alone, for authors, you will find little bit difficult, but rest all will be very easy. The most important thing here is the first article. As I said, you should not give any clue that you are writing a research article for the first time. For example, a research article in the abstract, they have done the citations. So think you are a reviewer, you are receiving this article for the first time. In the abstract, there is a citation. So what do you feel? With this abstract in the citation in the abstract, do you think they could have published few articles earlier? Obviously, no. It is not possible, right? So the reviewer easily they will be try to find that okay, they are submitting this article for the first time. So they may have a lot of errors, mistakes. So mostly they will be rejecting it, and they will try to put a lot of corrections, suggestions to improve the quality of the research article. Okay. So some basic guidelines are there you need to follow while writing. First and foremost thing, when you write your research article, you need to number all the lines. The research article numbering is very important. That lines has to be numbered. Simple procedures only. And no author affiliation details should be there in your peer review article. Some authors think that they are from a very top institute, and whenever they submit their research article, they add their institute affiliation details. Okay, that very important thing. Then add author's details and affiliation details in the title page. See, title page in the sense a separate Word file along with your manuscript you have to submit, and that has all the author details and other informations. But numbering in 5 years, yeah, see that numbering is different. This is numbering line for your research article. So why this numbering is very important is, rather than as a reviewer going through your article, page number 9, third paragraph, fourth sentences, that will be better. Or line number 295, this is the error, or this is the issue, you need to correct it, which will be better for the reviewers. Okay, that is the reason numbering is very important. Many journals, the automatic numbering will be done. You will submit as a plain manuscript, but later they will number it. But some journals that will not happen. So you have to number it and you have to submit it. And every journal has word limit like 15,000 words or 15 page or 20 page. If certain guidelines is there, you need to follow that. Then try to have page number in your research article too. And whenever you prepare your research article, keep in your mind Times New Roman is a font. Font size may be 12 or 13, and spacing should be 1.5. Spacing should be 1.5. And then most important thing is, wherever heading is there, that must be bold. That must be bold. You have a word file, like the full article is done. Then this is a very simple steps only. With this, you need to submit your research article. Then another important thing here is, somewhere if you have a points, don't write again 1, 2, 3, 4. Again 1, 2, 3, 4. You should use bulletins. Then indentation of text is very important. Like you leave some space in the starting of the sentences, indentations. Then whenever you prepare your article, if there is any images, the image should be in TIFF file or even JPEG, but the quality should be more than 300 dpi. Dpi is more resolution. There is a tool called Irfan View. There is a YouTube channel Irfan View, not that, but when you search Irfan View, it will take you to that YouTube channel only. You need to search Irfan View software so that you get uh, a free software where it is easy for you to enhance the figure quality. Then save all figures with numbers. All figures with numbers. If you have 12 figures with 12 numbers, you need to perfectly have it. And if the editor is asking you to submit, you can submit it. As an author, you need to write a cover letter to the editor-in-chief when you are submitting your research article to a reputed journal. So you will see what is cover letter a little bit in detail in upcoming slides, but the cover letter is a communication to only to the editor-in-chief, not to the reviewer or to the associate editors. You are conveying them that how your research article fits the scope of the research, that journal. Every journal will have a scope. Every journal will have a scope. Whether that concerned research work comes under the scope or not. So that content will be written clearly in the cover letter. The in-text citation is also very important. We learned in the earlier sessions. Whoever article is getting cited, all must be properly with uh, it's an alphabetical or numerical citations, or in the same year two citation is there. Everything should be properly checked. Then add supplementary data like results, programming, coding, data sets, and other informations. That's very important. Once again. Then all cited articles must be in reference. You have 200 or maybe normal research article, 40, 45 articles which is cited, and all must be in the reference. If 30 citation is there, 30 reference must be there. And don't add images of a person in journals while doing testing or any laboratory work, because some others think if they are doing some experimental work, they just like take photos like they are working on a certain projects, and that same projects, the same photos should be added in a journal. Some journals they don't accept those things. It's a professional communication. The publication is a professional communication. Obviously, no plagiarism. That's very important. And highlight should be in a single sentence. Highlights should be in a single sentence with 3 to 5 points. Then 3 to 5 author, like as an author, you don't have more number of authors, 10, 20, 30, some numbers. Very limited numbers. Whoever is contributor, try to have them alone. And if two affiliation is there, try to put numbers both. So initially you may do a work, then you may shift from the current institute to another institute. Then try to give number for both. Right? Then 5 to 7 keywords. The nomenclature is very important. And the reference style also should be as per the journal templates, whether it's an alphabetical reference or a numerical, right? And obviously, as an author, should have an initial and a final draft. So, initial draft and final draft is must. Firstly, we'll go with the keywords. Keyword is very, very important because when you search based on these keywords only, you will try to get your articles in the top list plus your article title. These both content are very, very important. Both contents are very, very important. And keywords. Keywords are part of research article. This is a very an important part. So this is sample keywords. Then designation and affiliations. These content should be available in the title page. And title should be very not huge, and it should be short and clear. You can have I think 16 or 20 page. Sorry, 16 words. Somewhere around 16 words. 16 to 20 words. And proper keyword should be there. It's not 8 to 12, it is somewhere around 16. Now, if you see this article, I have mentioned performance of evaluation. There's a key term called experimental investigation. Experimental investigation. And this is another article. So many of my article, you can find this term called experimental investigation because when I am continuing or extending my research work, most of the work I try to do some experimental research work. Okay. So that details were available so that any reasons, any researchers in future they like to explore, they like to do the research on certain like experimental and other parts. So these article will be much helpful. So this is enhancement of mitigations, and this also similarly. So this is another open access one. The effect of creep on RC frame subjected to cyclic load with MR dampers. So title is very, very important because many researchers by reading the title, then only they try to click and go through the article. And these are highlight options. You can have 4 to 5 points, but only one major restriction in this highlight is you can have only one sentence, no matter how much length it is, but only one sentence. Then number the headings. Number the headings, like some outline. It's a kind of 4 outline. Then nomenclature you can download it. And this is a sample table based on their formats. Sample table. And all figures, all caption, all details, right, should be clearly mentioned. Like table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Similarly, figure also. Figures like figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. Then figure caption, right? Below the figure caption should be there clearly. And this is the sample title page. Just explore the sample title page because this image is more than enough. This we call as the title page. So wherever figure has to be inserted, you need to mention insert figure, so it will be inserted. Then this is the sample cover letter, the sample only. Just give a read. The most important thing in this cover letter is you need to write to the editor that the purpose of your research work and how it suits to this journal based on the scope of that journal. Mostly the corresponding author will be writing this. And at the end of the journal, many research article has this reference option, data availability, acknowledgement sections, recently conflict of interest, and recently usage of AI, something like that. There's another heading. So these are all mandatory. You need to explore it and you need to update it. Okay, based on the journal template. So these are all some kind of schemes has been drawn. Can you know which tool is used to draw this schematic representation diagram? Which you see in the screen, which tool is used to draw this? Which tool is asked to draw the schematic representations? See, this is drawn using PowerPoint. And the next one, if you see the left side image, that's a simple device. But why I have added this A, B, C, D, E, F and all to make the authors, whoever is reading my content, to make them understand better. The same content only available here as a schematic diagram. So one of your objective is also to make the readers to understand your content better through schematic diagrams or flow charts or methodology charts or some other like through some figures. If you see the right end, it's a simple frame and all. These both are like done using Microsoft PowerPoint. The right side image drawn in PowerPoint, and I spend a little bit of time, and it's good when I see the final outcome. And this is also another using PowerPoint. And this is a simple image, experimental part, but it's a kind of simple collage where even small informations were added here, like top view, side view, multiple views are there to make the future researchers to understand the work a little bit better. And most important thing is whenever you prepare your manuscript, when you take any images, tables, and any other from, you need to do proper citations. This figure only limited content is taken from a senior. Even in that senior's article, also my supervisor is there. But still, if you taken some content, kindly put the source information or site information. Give proper credit to the your experts or seniors or some research experts, right? Graph is very important. Can anyone say which tool used to plot this graph? This is drawn using Excel. We will learn how to draw in Excel. So now we're going to learn about abstract, how to write the abstract. Abstract, normally any researchers, when they start their research work, they start searching or finding multiple research article. Mostly, they first read the uh, title as well as the abstract of a research work. Then only, if it is helpful or related to the research work, they start downloading and they used to go through. There's a universal format how to write the abstract. But before that, this abstract will determine to read your research article or not. Editors, reviewers, and some other authors, everybody uh, try to, like, based on the abstract only, they try to read or download, or the next step will be. Can have 250 to 300 words. Keep it short because many journals, and when you submit the abstract, even it will say like 300 words, 250 words. Take more time to write your abstract because as you add more number of keywords, it can reach more number of researchers. Uh, between 7 to 10, even till certain 12, some small sentences means many, uh, like till 12 sentences you will be having it. In abstract, you will not have any tables, figures, and other things. Don't add it. Now, I'm going to share few abstracts. You need to say which abstract is correct. This is the first one. This is the second one. And the left is the third one. Right is the fourth one. And this is the fifth one. This is the first one. This is the second abstract. The left is this third. Third and fourth is here, then five. Just tell me the number that which one is right in the chat. Still many are thinking. See, listen. This abstract also consists of the background work, then objective, methodology, findings or results, then concluding remarks. Here also aim, which is the objective, background work, the order is slightly changed, and the method, results, conclusion. Objective, method, results, conclusion. Objective, method, results, conclusion. Purpose of the study is the objective, method, findings or results, and the final concluding part with the novelty as well as the applications. And in a simple task I like to share here is I think this or this. I think my screen is visible, right? I think this one. Normally, how I used to give kind of some activities normally for students. See, first, the importance of the background work, then a gap, then objective, method, findings, implications consist of these concluding remarks. This is the universal template. If you are in the initial stage of your research work, just copy the abstract of 5 to 10 research article in a Word file. Front and back, take a print. You purchase like the color highlighters, 2-3 highlighters. Just start highlighting the background work or importance of the work, then objective, method, findings, conclusions. Like this, if you are doing for 10 articles, when you read and when you highlight, right, then you will come to know, and while you are uh, collecting it, those articles should be a reputed one. First and second sentences is the background work, like what the study is about, then the objectives, then the methodology. Methodology will consist of how many specimen, which software, what analysis, what model, what theorem, everything, right? Then findings, not all the findings, some of the key findings. Then conclusion, right? This is the universal format. This is the sample background. Then you can see the next, the present work validates there where the objectives getting started. And you can see the last concluding remarks. The proposed device, semi-active damper, can therefore be used effectively as a seismic resilient device in reducing the structural response in the regions of moderate to high seismicity. A simple concluding remarks. Right, these abstracts are very, very important. You need to spend time for your abstracts based on this order. It's a universal template. You need to follow in this order, right? And sometimes if you see here, some journals, when you go through the earlier previously published research article, you will find these abstracts in that journals. So in that case, you need to follow as per the journal. Okay, for example, if you see these methods, how many participants? 870 nurses. So how they have responded through bulk mail, randomly to 4,000 nurses from the south of England. Similarly here, another method. So how they collected the data, right? And the results, right? Results were mentioned, the scores, then the concluding remarks. Abstract for literature, we will be learning maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow about literature review. We will be learning the same content, so we will be learning in the other sessions. Now the introduction part. Abstract is very, very important. It will be using a universal format or a template you need to follow. Even today, I asked one of my, for a simple conference, one of my master students to write the abstract. I shared one of my recordings related to this abstract. Then I take him to like tea, and I just said him how this abstract flows works. You need to write how do you need to write. So his methodology, everything, just in the paper I just wrote. I asked him to you just write. This is the first article he's writing. So uh, he said tomorrow I'll bring, but given some sample or from previous article, I just said this is the background, this is the objective, this is the methodology, this is the, so these details were clearly explained to the students. So when you share these informations to the students, obviously they will in future when they write their second, third and other articles, it will be very, very easy. Introduction is very, very important because this is one part where you will be talking about not your research work, about the existing research work in your domain or research work. This includes the basic and foundation of your research and why this study is very, very important. That you need to say clearly in the introduction part, and more background information. Then who all done this study earlier, and who are all done this study earlier at what level, what till what extent, what technique methods they have used, and how you think your study will fill those research gaps, and choose only close related study or relevant study, not some random articles which is not closely related even. Cite all the source whatever you have explored, whichever is helpful to you for your research work, and from existing research what you like, as you are going to develop a new one, right, that detail should be clearly mentioned, and give suggestions to the researchers. Not just they have just developed, extended, evaluated suggestions. Rather than those positive note, you can give some good suggestions, valuable, sensible suggestions about their research work. An introduction must attract the readers as well as the reviewers. Because as a reviewer, I used to read multiple research article. The abstract will be perfect. When we start reading the introduction part, obviously we will get tensed or we will get irritated sometimes based on the introduction. But after the introduction, again the body of the article, it will be excellent, perfect. Okay, there are some scholars, they don't spend much time for the introduction. As I said, one of my, even my student itself, he took the entire reference and pasted, and the entire introduction part he rephrased and copied and pasted in the same order. If the article is published and all these researchers saw my name, right? So introduction is very, very important when you discuss about uh, the earlier prior research works. And from existing research, how you are going to develop a new one, and try to give suggestions. Suggestion is very, very important. And introduction must attract the readers and reviewers. There where the problem is. Many researchers, they don't read the introduction part. Right? Start directly, go to the images, graphs, what is the x-axis, what is the y-axis, what type of data, what flow chart, how they are going to analyze and complete the results part. Right? Then obviously plagiarism should not be there, because introduction is one section where you get a lot of plagiarisms. This is a sample introduction. And one thing in introduction you need to understand, most of the introduction, the last paragraph is very, very important. And the last paragraph will slightly tell about your objective plus your methodology and other informations. Right? These are all should be there in the introduction part of your research article. One second, so please wait. So till this, if you have any queries, please shoot your query in the chat box. So there is a query that what to write in the key findings, advantages, or other, not advantages, key findings in the sense your results. Some predictors, sorry, some results with percentage or some values, some numeric results will be there, right? All these applicable with writing and dissertations, not the entire thing. We have a separate session for thesis writing. There we will learn in detail. The keywords try to have the keywords two way you can do it. Some authors, what they do is, you will have close related articles, right? Very close related articles. From that articles, if you take 5 keywords, then again another article 5 keywords, another article 5 keywords. From this 15 keywords, you will find some 5 keywords again and again repeated. Okay, that is one option. Another option is, some authors based on the title. The title, mostly title is the very, like within a very short and crispy manner, your entire work you will be mentioning it. So from the title you will use certain words, right? They prefer to have that. But very simple, how we can write the keyword is, how you used to search and identify or find other research articles. Which keyword you used? I'm just using some keywords, right? Frequently, Yama, damper, comma, seismic, right? So I'm getting certain articles. Similarly, how you are searching it and you are finding relevant literatures. So try to use that. You can have like 4, 5, 6. One article I have seen 6, but many articles you will have 5 keywords. How is introduction written for a new topic? Yeah, see, it's a good question, but is anybody is doing research work on a new topic? Obviously, because earlier sessions, some researchers will say that related to my research work, I'm not finding even a single article. Right? How many of you feel that you don't find even a single article related to your work? But if you are going to do a research work on AI in 2020, obviously till maybe 2030 or certain things, the prior, the earlier till now, till today, till the second, whatever the AI till till whatever it is achieved until what level, that you have to convey. And you may have other future scope, how it going to be, that and all, that's a different thing. But till now, what it is, right? Because based on this only, you are going to say whatever maybe in 2030 or other things. How can I refine my abstract so that it clearly communicates the research gap, the novelty of my approach, and measurable impact of my findings in a very first 3 to 4 lines? See, uh, try to not change this order. The first, the background or the important study is like how your study is important. See, your study is not going to read by, I don't know you are from which discipline. Some simple example, for example, you are from civil discipline, and in that civil, your specialization is in earthquake engineering. Only those research experts or those researchers only going to read your research article. Not a person doing agriculture or all the agriculture researchers or nutrition based researchers is going to read your research article. So in that specialization, if some researcher is going to read your article, you need to clearly mention in the first 1 or 2 sentences that how your research work is very important, that you need to communicate first 1 or 2 sentences. Okay. Um, Next, start with your objective. Normally, you will not write the abstract in the first. The abstract mostly you will be writing at the end, so that you will come to know all your what is the methodology. Based on your headings, your workflows, you will come to know what methods you have used, what equations, whether what software, what type of analysis, and how many number of data you had. All those basic informations you will have, that methodology part. But objective should be clearly mentioned. You have one objective or 2 objectives. You have one objective, write in a single sentence clearly what's your objective. You have 2 objectives, you write 2 objectives clearly. Okay. After objectives, for this objective, you need to have a methodology. How you are going to solve this objective. That you need to mention how many number of sample, what type of test, all these like methods you need to mention. Then while you are doing this study, obviously you know some unique results, unique findings. That findings should be there. Not more numbers, 1 2 sentences is more than enough. Then concluding remarks. Based on this objective, what is an application and how it's going to be useful for the researchers in future. Limit for introduction. Normally in introduction, if it is a quality reputed journals, 40 to 45 articles will be referred. And in introduction also, very important thing. For example, COVID-19, lockdown, air pollution, India. Think this is your research work. You should start with COVID-19, a 5 6 article, right? Then about lockdown, again 5 6 articles. These all 5 6 articles should be related to lockdown, right? Then during lockdown, what is an air pollution happen? Got reduced related to that. Then how it is getting measured? Air quality index. So core technically, then what are the research article related to air quality index? Then uh, other studies. So it should be in an order. But when you are collecting these articles, you should separate it properly. Okay. First sentence should not be COVID. Second sentence should not be air quality index. Third sentences related to something else. It should not be. It should be in an order. Because I find majorly in many articles, many researchers they used to write the introduction part well, but there is no connections between each and every sentences. That is the major mistake many researchers are doing it. So that you should not do. That is the reason I suggested paragraph will be better. COVID-19, lockdown, air pollution, Delhi, you are going to study about this air pollution first, or about this COVID-19, then lockdown, then before lockdown 10 days, after lockdown 10 days, or during lockdown how it is, what type of study. So these are all details, right? It should be clearly mentioned in your articles. Does my abstract successfully establish a logical flow from the research problem to the methodology, then to the key results without revealing unnecessary details that belong? So once again, that's my, yeah, you should have a logical flow. Yes, 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 madam. Yes, sir. See, same keywords in the sense not the exactly same. Obviously, some unique changes will be there. Not exact, the five will not be. Sometimes in that two or three you can take it, and remaining two will be your unique, your material, your findings, your study. Based on your methodology, the two keywords can be changed. After introduction part, the conclusion part is very, very important. Many researchers read only abstract and conclusion. They don't read other parts initially. Even when I also download and read articles, first I read title, then abstract, then conclusion. Then I go like explore these all the abstract, all the images or some graphs. Graphs, if I have, what is the x-axis, what is the y-axis, and to generate this graph, what equipment is required, what is the what in the equipment, what type of analysis, what type of input, what type of fixtures, what is used to do those analysis. So these are all has to be studied. Normally, I used to write if a research article has 10 graph, 10 x and y axis graph, I write what is the x axis, what is the y axis of all these 10 graph. So if that 10 graph is there with me, I can write similar another article. Objectives may be different, but if it is follow a similar methodology, then these 10 x axis and y axis results from our research work will be helpful for me. Findings and results are very, very important to add in your research article. The conclusion part mostly will have this both. And you can add future work at the end of the conclusion part. At the end of the conclusion part, not in the starting, end of the conclusion part. Add only results available in the body or discussion part, not new findings. For example, inside your body of the article, you will some results you may not have, but that results directly will be available in the conclusions. Such things should not happen. Okay. And specify the details with points by points response. Don't direct put a paragraph and don't submit it. Mainly for conclusions part. Conclusion should be strong in how you solve the objective or a research problem and highlight the shortcoming. Every researchers will say only there is a best. Best is fine. But if there is any shortcomings, try to write it clearly. Try to write it clearly. And how to solve the practical issues that also need to be addressed. Then you can start most of the conclusion start like in conclusion, that is how it is getting started, and the research gap must be answered in the conclusions part. Answered in the conclusion part. This is a sample conclusions. The last sentence I will tell you, like the main findings are as follows, and it is written one by one based on the findings. This is a sample conclusion only, but most important thing here is you need to uh, clearly convey the findings. Clearly convey the findings. One second. Can anyone say this is which section? Which section of your research article? And most important thing, conclusion must have the future work. Conclusion must have the future work. Limitations are very important. Every project will have lot of limitations, lot of implications. During the study, you may undergo lot of things. You need to mention that clearly. And key findings. If you have 2 3 objectives, in that each objectives when you are doing your study, you may have 3 to 4 unique findings. And try to have some values, unique values in numbers. But some researchers in like life science or a certain discipline, you may not have in results in numbers, but strongly describe your findings, your suggestions, your outcomes. Even the first problem statement, it's not mandatory, but start from key findings, implications if you want, you can add it, limitations, future work is very important. Then obviously you will have a like concluding remarks, the closing statement. Okay. Next most important thing is body of your research article. Body of your research article is above conclusion, after introduction. Body of your research article is after introduction, before conclusion. That is the major part. That is the major part. Based on that major part part of your research article only, you will be able to write the abstract as well as you will be able to write the uh, conclusion part. When you are writing your research article for the first time, always try to collect base research article. We call it that as a base paper. What is the base paper? Related to your research work, you should have a close related articles. Close related article. Okay, first article, you need to have a close related article. You need to search and find which article is very closely related. It's not copying the same entire thing, but at least for referring to write for your first article till publications, use those things. And one more thing, when you write your body of the article, in a very short note, you'll be mentioning all these details as a methodology in the abstract. That in detail, it should be there inside the body of your article. Like what is the test? What are the results? Some authors, they'll be telling about the test and those images. At last, they will have another heading called results and discussion. In that results and discussion, they put each and every headings and write about the results, graphs, and they used to discuss it. If that is also fine, or in each section itself, put a heading, tell about the test, tell about the results, and complete it. That is also fine. No journal say that this is an order you need to follow, or if you are not following, then it is rejected. Nothing like that. But most important thing in writing the body of your research article is transparency is very important. If you taken any data, taken any images, put proper source informations, clearly that source information is very important. Okay, that's very important. And one more thing in writing the body of the article is all heading, try to have at least 6 to 10 sentences. 6 to 10 sentences. Just for writing 3 4 sentences. In that 3 sentences also, one sentence will be about the figure. Another sentence will be like the figure shows so and so. Then some 1 2 sentences. Don't have such kind of paragraphs. Such kind of paragraphs. And every journal, when you plan to select to publish a research article in that journal, for example, there's a journal called Energy, Ecology, Environment in Springer. If you are planning to publish your research article in that journal, go to the archives option of that journal. Try to download 2 3 articles, the recently published one, and go through the research article and check how they wrote. Because even small changes, table is there, right? The table will be how they are formatting it, right? Sometimes the figure will have borders, sometimes the figure will not have borders. Sometimes the figure quality 300 dpi, the resolution, whether they are following or not following. So all these things based on the previously published article. Try to download 1 2 articles and explore the formatting parts, because some elsewhere journals they have 1 2 3 4 starting from introduction. Some publishers they don't have this 1 2 3 4. They start with just without a numbers, they start and complete in the end. So these are all small changes based on the publishers, based on the journals that goes on. But as an author, it's our responsibility to check the previous body of the article, and then we have to make our content perfect. Mostly the headings, image, graph is there, automatically the write-ups will be coming in. But as if you are doing, if you did good number of literature review, you can write on your own perfectly. But if you're not done your literature or anything, then obviously again it takes time. It will be a little bit difficult while you're writing the body of your research article. So any queries till now related to writing research article part? See, some journals they mention 15 page, 15,000 words. Some journals no limitations. They expect your quality article. That's all. 20 25 pages also not an issue. They need a quality content. Is my conclusion clearly showing how my findings contribute to the existing research instead of just repeating the results? See, you have an objective. To solve that objective, you have a methodology. When you follow this methodology, you will get good results, findings. That methodology may be any software analysis or any mathematical equation based or any survey data collection and some statistical analysis or doing some experimental study, whatever it may be. At least to study you have it and you validate it and you say the both the validations were perfect and you are completing the task. Now, during this methodology, solving this methodology process, you will have lots of unique findings, unique results. Not all the results. We have 20, 30 specimens. Some specimens has a unique outcome that need to be reported in the conclusions to make other researchers to know that about the research work. These are all some unique insights. Okay, that need to be clearly mentioned in the conclusion part. Okay, repeating results in the sense whatever available inside the body of the article, that results only to be available in the conclusion. For example, some heading will have some results. Some results may not be there. Don't add those results directly in the conclusion part. Whichever is already available, that has to be in the conclusion. Okay. Sir, in our PhD journey, will you please tell me when to write review article? Actually, your institute, your supervisor, everybody will ask you to write a review article in the initial stage. But learn and try to write it. But the perfect review article, obviously, you can write after your completion of your PhD program only. Perfectly a quality literature review. But we will have a session, and there are some simple, easy methods to do literature review and write a literature review articles that you can do it. Because most of the institute and supervisors suggested to write, like, even after your admissions, immediately in masters, if you have publications, they immediately they start asking you to write it. For psychology, which one I can use as a role model to follow? See, I'm not getting your answer query clearly, but try to follow your. See, we are all from different discipline. Related to your core research area, you will have obviously some 7 to 12 research journals very closely related to your research work. Hardly 7 to 14 journals. All these journals only, mostly you will publish in your lifetime. Mostly. I know one professor from, I think he's Professor Subramani from NIT Warangal or Suratkar. Uh, for external Viva, I just had a travel with him for a hour. So I just explored his profile. Published all his research article in a single journal throughout his lifetime. It's, I think it's in Q1. Impact factor is somewhere around 4.5 or something else. Every 4 years, this conference organizer conduct a the elsewhere journal conduct a conference. He attend only those conference. Other conferences he will send their students, and he met in each and every conference all these editorial board, editor in chief, associate editors, everybody every 4 years. So in his name, if you are submitting an article, the chance of rejection is very less because already he is publishing 100, 200 plus article in the same journal. So every editors and other, they know him, which means every author, for example, related to my discipline, if you see somewhere around 6 to 7 journals only, again and again it will be repeated. These journals will have certain formats, even some tables in some journals, you will have the border in all, everywhere it will be like border line will be there. Some journals, the heading is there, right? The table heading. The top and bottom heading will have a line. Then the last you will have a line. Inside another, you will not have any vertical lines. So these are all journal formats. Which journal you are planning to submit? Try to follow that formats and okay. Average, if you download 3 4 articles, on an average how much page number these authors are writing. 20 pages, 25 pages means try to have it. Mostly you will not have much issues. And the base paper is very important. When you collect base papers, try to collect from reputed journals. When you try to collect research article from cloned, predatory, and some kind of useless journals, it will be very difficult for you to write and publish in a quality journals. Hope you understand, right? So the collection of research article, try to collect quality journals. While you are collecting itself, you will come to know what are the journals where your experts are publishing. Try to collect articles in those reputed journals and read those reputed journals and write, because when you refer these reputed journals itself, you will come to know how the standards are. Graph plotting it in a reputed, how it looks. Okay, simple. I'm just sharing a simple graph. You just think how it looks. 1 second. Mm, just a sample. I think I'm just showing you. When you drag this image out, you can see there is no background. Like background is plain. So just click here and put solid fill. So this white color is fill here. To file. So why I'm sharing this here is, as a reviewer, I have seen number of articles. See, this is number one, this is number two. Which one you like? If you are a reviewer, this is number one, this is number two. There is no three. Very simple, which means, see, one important thing I like to share here is, many authors think just in Excel sheet or somewhere you just plot it and you just add it. But most important thing here is, your article will be referred by so many students, researchers, various authors in future, right? Even many of my article, my students, they explore and say, sir, you how you made that, how you plotted this, how that you added in thing. They will ask lot of queries. Most important thing is, after publication, you cannot do any changes in your research article. Even any wrong or anything, you cannot change. If, see, nowadays using AI, so many stuff using you can create good number of schematic, good number of graphical thing, good number of this plotting thing. Lot of things can be done in a different way. But still, if you are an author doing just plotting in Excel, just for namesake, you need to put some. I recently saw an article in 2025. They are from a professor from an NIT Harmipur, I think. They just plotted in Excel, and there is no proper units, and I think some X or Y axis, some X-axis or some Y-axis title is not there in the graph. Sometimes the students, they could have submitted it, and why I'm sharing is, it will spoil the professor's name, as well as it cannot be changed after publications. Later you think, oh, I have missed this detail, that details, I have to change it, and what. So if you do anything, you cannot change after publications. See how, as a professional, if you are attending some kind of a meeting or something, how we will be more professional, well dressed, and we will, like, how confident we are, like, about us. Similarly, our research article also will represent about us. I can tell some articles where it is very worst. I go through those names of the authors and all. Similarly, if you are not spending time for your research article, the article not only full theory write-ups, should have some graphical abstract, some kind of flow charts, some images, some informations to make the authors to, and some infographics. Recently, there are some tools can provide good number of infographics related to your research work, step by step process and all. Right? These, as an image file, as of now till today, the figures are not getting into this flag and other stuffs. Okay, if you are making as a maybe or infographics kind of thing, you can make using in PowerPoint or other tools even. Okay, can use any, see graph, there is a tool called Origin, will be better than this 10 20, like if this for whatever I shown here using Excel, for 100, what I have did is I can give only 50 marks. But if you need 100 marks, you need to use, there's a tool called Origin. Okay. Why I shared that Excel sheet currently immediately is, if you are still drawing using Excel and just copying paste the Excel file and pasting in some article or some report and completing your task, at least do what I did. That is a very minimal, very minimal. At least do what I did. Hardly takes 2 minutes. Simple editing. At least do that. Otherwise, after 10 years, 20 years, when your PhD student explore your article or your thesis or some informations, I have seen these kind of the very blank Excel graph in certain thesis recently. Uh, because I don't know how come, like uh, some article, because uh, we are responsible for the content in our research article, right? If you want your articles to be look good, perfect, with all good informations, transparency, and that article is useful to future researchers, then you put lot. See, there is an image. The same scheme is already I have added in my article. But still, when the fabricated device is there, I put all these parts and put A, B, C, D, and all. Why I have to add that again and again and again? To make the future researchers, when they explore my article, to make them understand better. See, initially I asked, what is the purpose of writing research article? Everybody said sharing knowledge, everything is fine. After completing your research article, just think whether the communication of science as happening through this publication really it will be useful for the future researchers or just for publication and getting your degrees. And always try to refer quality articles to write quality articles. If you are referring unquality, predatory, cloned, fake, and other journals, it will be very difficult for to write the quality articles. Sir, can we use any type of graph pies? Yeah. See, which graph if you use, you can make the readers or the reviewers or the editors to understand better about your output or outcome. So thank you all.